So I got off work early and I turned on Fox News like I do, and look who was on Fox News again, AOC. And then Andrew Yang came along, and I kind of wondered, why do I like Andrew Yang when I really, really dislike AOC and then Bernie Sanders? And what is the rationale behind this? And the Fox News talked about AOC and inviting her to make her statements, and then AOC said that she would not go on Fox News. The main reason is she has the ad revenue, that the ad revenue from it bankrolls a white supremacist sympathizer to broadcast an hour-long production of unmitigated racism without any accountability whatsoever. So obviously, a pretty compelling reason, I would say, to not go on Fox News. But then, like, all her supporters like it, and they love it, and they comment on it, and they boost her up, and they, like I said many times, I work in marketing, and you can get into a situation where you have a feedback mechanic in biology. Oh, look at me, I'm using my $220,000 NYU degree. A feedback mechanic where you just continue to feed off the likes, but you're telling people what they want to hear because by definition they followed you, and what you really should be interested in. Same, I'm not just going to criticize AOC, I'll criticize Donald as well. You want to hear about the people with different opinions than you, and that's why Andrew Yang, when he goes to Fox News, and he went there very early on with universal basic income, I can tell you that that was not fun for him. Like, that could not have been, that was probably scary. Fox News viewers are not going to like that idea, at least initially, right? In the very beginning, when Fox News, Tucker Carlson interviewed Andrew Yang, and he was talking about, and they talked about universal basic income, the average Fox News viewer at that time is going to be very disgusted by that idea. I cannot tell you why. I mean, you can argue until you're blue in the face with me, but let me just tell you, I mean, I had to make this video. I cannot continue to make this video, right? Like, I have to end it at some point. I could go on and on about that. Essentially, a Fox News viewer, it does not like the welfare. They did not like the free homes. They believe in themselves enough to try to big up. And I am the example of this. I had $400K in student loans. I had NYU and William Mary Law School. So instead of crying about that or student loan forgiveness, I decided to start a business, which I own 100% of now. When I started, I had 29%. Business went well. I was able to take another loan to buy out my partners, 3 different partners, 2 lawyers, 1 guru, if you will, like let's say a sales guru type figure. And they owned 71, 25.5, 25.5, and 20. I was able to buy them all out for a very large sum of cash, which then took me a year to pay off. But in my opinion, so in my bias, I am very biased, and that is kind of survivorship bias. You can Google it. I'm not going to explain it. It's the amount, like, if I'm the only survivor on an air, I'm just going to explain it now. I just realized that it probably doesn't make sense to you. If I'm the only survivor on a plane, then my view of it is going to be covered by the media. And it seems like everyone had the same view I did, when in fact 99 other people died on the plane, and we cannot obviously interview them. And that's the same with any startup or business, right? 99% of businesses fail. Oh, not 99, but like, let's say 90% of businesses fail. I'm one of the 10 that made it. So yes, I am going to have a biased view, and I understand that, but nonetheless, that is my view. When I first saw Andrew Yang, I thought it was a joke, universal basic income. I didn't really know very much about it. It just sounded like we were giving free money to people for no reason, and we're going to tax the rich. Well, I assumed we were taxing the rich because I'm so ingrained into thinking, oh, okay, I guess the solution is tax the rich, which really means we're going to tax the middle class, and the middle class is going to get slaughtered. Well, I'm in the middle class. Oh, this is bad. But the more, and the fact that he went on the show to explain his policies and who he was, and it just sounded like 2 bros hanging out. And Tucker is Tucker is an interesting character. I'm not going to go too much into that. But he's not an easy individual to talk to all the time, right? And that's why AOC probably doesn't want to be on his show. I think that was the moment that I realized, because I sat and listened to him. And that's why debates are so important. If more people listen to his ideas and go beyond just the surface of $1,000 for everybody, and they understand why it's important, like who it's supposed to help, and you guys hate this about me, but this is what I am. I paid off my student loans. So for me to have a mentality of like, you know what, we should pay off everyone's student loans because they just can't do it. And I have so many friends who are very wealthy, make millions of dollars, and they use their student loans as a investment almost. Instead of paying them off because the interest rate is lower, they invest in other. I get 5 to 10 different, for my LinkedIn, I get 5 to 10 different investments every single month from my friends. And then my friends all want to invest in my businesses, right? I own a Princess Party company. Elsa is big. I own a meal delivery company. Part ownership. I own equity in these companies, and I own a toy store. In addition to my marketing agency and my photography agency, which makes the most amount of money. So to me, like, it's like, oh, like in my view, the people who would benefit from student loan forgiveness are the people who went to NYU with me, who make millions of dollars on Wall Street, and they don't pay their student loans because there's no reason to when supposedly you're this guru, right? Like if you're a Wall Street guru, you definitely can make more than 6.8%, right? I mean, that's just horrendously low. I've had some investment opportunities, supposedly. I don't invest because I invest in my employees. I pay them bonuses and things. And so we always about break even. We're never really that profitable at the end of the year. And of course, we had to pay back all these $220,000 in investment to buy out my free investors, which we recently did pay off. But that's my point of view. But if somebody like Bernie or AOC went to Fox News, explained it, had a good discussion without screaming and yelling, I would listen and I would say, oh, okay, maybe AOC has a point. Maybe student loan forgiveness does make sense. Everyone I've talked to about student loan forgiveness in my audience went to NYU or William & Mary Law School. William & Mary Law School, when I went, was a top 25 law school. So you can be sure that the majority of my friends, especially since I was the fraternity head of a legal fraternity, Phi Delta Phi Alpha. I forgot what my fraternity was called, but it was the top 10% of the class. So basically, you needed an A average, which is top 10%, and it was fun. It was a lot of good fun, but that's who I'm friends with. So I don't have that's why when I think about canvassing, it kind of freaks me out to knock on people's doors that you don't know or get strangers. I see it on Andrew Yang all the time, and you might a lot of you guys actually canvass, and you might think it's second nature. Oh well, of course we do it. But to me, I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of weird, because I do something called inbound marketing. That's what I'm good at and famous at. So what you guys are doing, outbound marketing, is canvassing, cold calling. That kind of freaks me out because I don't get my leads that way, and that seems I don't know. But I understand the value of it. So having somebody come to Fox News, discuss why student loan forgiveness is good, how it benefits the economy. I haven't heard anything like that, right? The only reason I studied more about universal basic income was, A, I wanted to see how it was funded, and B, Andrew Yang came on Fox News to explain it to me when I wasn't a fan of Andrew Yang yet. And it wasn't instantaneous, oh, great, Andrew Yang, universal basic income. For me, it was more of a slow, okay, Fox News keeps mentioning this guy. Let me Google him some more. Oh, he's an entrepreneur. Fox News says he's an entrepreneur. Okay. But the reason that he's able to do that is because they have a good relationship. Even though he's a Democratic candidate, Fox News respects him. And I don't know. I wish more people would do that. Sometimes all it takes is to sit down and talk and listen. and then that inspires people to do some research on their own and then become more educated. So I was not very educated on Andrew Yang or universal basic income 4 months when I started making videos. Was the first time I got educated, and you can see that I wasn't as educated as many of you guys, and still probably not as much. But I do read all the articles on Fox News about Andrew Yang and I Facebook Live. I read the comments, and I do try my best to convert my fellow Republicans, moderates, whatever they are. But that's the key. That's why Andrew Yang, in my opinion, is presidential material, because in a time long ago, if a Democratic president wanted to get as much done as possible to help the American people, he would have to do something called reach across the aisle. Wow. We have not used that terminology in a long time. Like, in the same with a Republican, they would have to reach across the aisle to the Democrats and say, you know what? For the good of the country, we're not going to boycott, and the government is not going to shut down again and again and again. I mean, it's very scary to me that, like, when people can't talk to each other without screaming and yelling and making, hey, I mean, truly, if you want to make the biggest, and this is what I do in my life. I know a lot of you really don't like it, but it's unique. I'm not, like I mentioned many times, I'm not an Andrew Yang news channel that just parrots an article. I put my own unique spin on it. I do think I am unique in terms of what I am and my personal biases, but Andrew Yang makes a lot of sense to me because he can reach across the aisle, and he can talk to Republicans, he can talk to independents, he can talk to Democrats. There's nothing that you should fear from going on Fox News. Yeah, maybe they don't like your idea, but at least you can explain it to other people, to people who may never have heard of it. So in terms of reach, in terms of importance, AOC should go on Fox News, defend her position, and explain. It's very easy on today's social media, given Twitter has a limited amount of space that you can actually tweet, to just attack someone and not explain. And that's what our society has become. It's become easier to attack someone and get all the likes and retweets and shares than to explain to this individual. I still have never been explained to in a way that makes sense to me why student loan forgiveness is better than universal basic income. In universal basic income, everyone gets the same amount, and if you want to use your amount for student loans, then do it. Like, I don't have any control of how you use it. But if I want to use my amount to donate to my local zoo, then I have that right. In student loans, some people have $200,000. Like, some of my friends have $400K in student loans because they went to the same school as I did, right? They went to, Northwestern, and then my best friend went to Northwestern, and then William & Mary Law School. So she actually had more loans than I did. And yes, you have lots of loans, and you would benefit from it. So some people have 400, maybe a doctor. I was watching Dave Ramsey. One dude has $1 million of loans. Like, you can Google Dave Ramsey. He's like a financial guru type of guy. I like him. So that guy would just get all $1 million, like, gone. And then some people went to community college and they might have 10,000. Some people don't have any loans. Many people, I think, 60% people don't have loans. Maybe more. I had a statistic, but it was over 50% of people don't have any loans at all. So people who went to community college may have been able to pay off their loans. People who went to trade school may not have loans. Or they may paid off their loans. People who got free tuition, people who chose to go to a cheaper college, chose to do community college for 2 years, then transfer to university. These are very smart decisions, and they're not going to benefit at all, right? So instead, in the universal basic income, everyone gets $1,000. Under the student loan forgiveness, some people, like my very wealthy friends, will get $400, $800, $1 million in their bank account. That's essentially what it is, and they'll just reinvest and be like, oh, thank you. AOC went to a very expensive college he didn't need to go to. You can go to community college for 2 years and transfer. You can go to trade school. You can teach yourself now, online, for free. Don't buy gurus though. Don't buy into the gurus because that's a waste of money. But there are so many things that you can do to not have that much loans, and that was a decision you made. And because of how it's spread out, some people receive no money, and some people, very wealthy people who went to Harvard, Harvard Law, Harvard Business, will receive all the money. So no one has explained to me why this is fair. Not why it benefits you, the dude with $800,000 student loans, but why this is more fair than universal basic income. If someone sits down and explains it to me and I understand it and can answer my questions, then maybe I will support it. You never know. And that's what happened with Andrew Yang. Oh, I'm getting sick. Bye, guys.